say, and she say, that's the way. Believe me, all I'm guilty of is loving you. For all the things they say and try to do to separate me and you, still I got enough love for you. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No lies, no games, no fronting of a kind. You always be mine. Regardless if come rain or shine, I love you for all time. Just be good to me. I'll be good to you. Just be good to me. No matter what they say, this your love, not shit. Investing my time and trust in you is all I wanna do. Believe me, girl. Won't be denied or rejected by cheap words or what you may have heard. Still I've got it plenty and for you my everything. My love will never run empty. We've got a touch that means so much. Come on, let's light it up. Just be good to me. It's good to be here tonight. Hata kama man zilichange, tuko na Simba, only Kenya, the unbeaten champion.
No, I've never been someone approached.
Yeah, big up to Selector Ayanga.
It's supposed to
Our reggae DJ tonight.
cry.
Hey,
No, I know everyone can relate to when they find a special someone.
Aya,
And she's right,
say what?
so wrong.
Hey,
Want her in my life.
yeah, everybody feeling high tonight. High on beat and high on energy. Twende. Ikibamba sana kuko nayo. Hey,
She has the qualities.
kabuko na rasta, let me see them on the air.
She's a queen.
Let me see your hands in the air.
Ooh, what a natural beauty.
Big up to Sylvia Chacha, our radio presenter,
She's a
our producer, content creator, and also a beautiful woman in the building. The only girl who can take Jack Apple in one go.
She's not afraid and ashamed of who she is.
Don't forget Team Simba. Marima champion, so cool day. Fiesta. They claimed the title in 2019. Tumesema Simba na Nguruma in the building tonight.
So funny. We don't talk anymore. Go to the people on your way up and let them meet them on your way.
Let's go. Hey. I see what? I'm still waiting. Kuna jinsi de pole pole basi.
Surrounded by fine ladies, dainty babies, rocking and jiggling to songs of all ages. Do all my jiggers drive, you can't show you one. You watch your G, you're not in my category. Rolling my truck, buckle up. Girls pull me over, asking me what's up.
Yeah, we have Fiesta coming next. It's now time for Sports and Reggea Show. Yeah, we have the best show courtesy of Icon Radio. Your best digital radio.
So I told her she was amazing. Clearly the star of the show.
Yeah, coming up next we have Selector Kayanga. Hey.
She was crying.
Amesema lazima mwanguke nayo design.
So I told her I would love her. She's a fool, and I never want to see her cry. Her heart and mind and soul belongs to me. And she has a good heart, so I never want to see her get hurt. If they got me turned and said to me, yes to me, she's amazing.
When I remember seeing her first, she was standing in the front, shining like a diamond in the sea. So I told her that I was longing for a love I could call my own. Her tender touch, it meant so much to me.
What's up, one, my people? It's the Sports and Reggea Show as we promised. And you know how the thing goes. It's me, your girl, Maren Kegeni, aka Shorty was Sports. And today, unfortunately, we begin with some really sad news. We've lost one of us. And of course, I'm not alone. Of course, he will be able to introduce himself in a few. Tuanza kuongea tu mambo ya sports kidogo, tukikula doba. Unajua kuna, there's nothing better. Unakula doba, ukiongea kuhusu game. Unakula doba, ukiongea kuhusu game.
Nobody can stop Reggea.
Nobody can stop Reggea. Wewe.
Yeah, kwa majina wananijua kama Steve Njuguna. But my friends call me Fridge because I'm cool. baridi. And of course, tuko hapo pia na Innocent Mutiso ako in the area.
Yeah.
But as you were saying, very sad news about Ezekiel Otuoma.
Yeah.
He's a veteran, alicheza in Kenya for several years. Great player, played for 5 clubs, Ulinzi, Western Stima, FC Leopards, and passed away unfortunately.
For sure. And as you said, the crew is big, and right about now, Innocent Mutiso right about now. What akuje tu doba, Sports and Reggea, doba, pole tu. Mdogo inanga pressure. Let's cover ina pressure. Amesema anaingia in style.
Walisema alikuwa anangojea red carpet.
Atajiintroduce himself, anze tu mdogo peke yake. Juzi tushajipatia introduction yetu. Sisi tushaanza mambo yetu, so
tuko vibes sisi.
Tushakuwa vibes. So let him join and tell him who he is and talk about the show, and of course tumeongea kidogo, tumeguzia kidogo about Otuoma and
Wagwan, Innocent Mutiso in the house, aka Wiping Wiper,
And thank you very much, guys, for that introduction. Thank you for waiting for me.
Mhm.
Show ilikuwa lazima go down, whether with me or not. Sports and reggae has to go on. And sad news today, hiyo kitu ya Ezekiel Otuoma haijanibamba sana. And may he rest in peace. Kama tunaweza ongelea story ya motor neuron disease, because I think outside huko, guys have to be aware about motor neuron disease.
Yeah.
Because the way my former teammate Ezekiel Otuoma ali deteriorate, his health really deteriorated from 2017,
2017 onwards.
until now.
Where did you guys play together?
Actually, he was a trialist at Gor Mahia.
Yes.
So anyone who was on trial at Gor Mahia is definitely
your
a teammate.
Yeah, because he played at Ulinzi, he played at AFC, and he was known.
He played at Western Stima. He's a guy who is very known in the sports fraternity. And the disease, it's about niliona kidogo kidogo is on spinal cord and whatnot.
Yeah.
Basically, to do a short summary of motor neuron disease, it affects the motor senses, yani your ability to move. Your ability to move, your limbs, your everything. So you would see Ezekiel, a guy who in his prime was, very physical,
strong.
very strong. All of a sudden his limbs are deteriorating, the body,
His
so
speech.
his speech. So at some point, guys, walikuwa namchangia the Kenyan football fraternity. We hosted some tournaments too.
Yes, in his
Kind
honor.
of and for me, I wish a lot of strength to his family, because his wife stood by him through all of that, and I know she must be devastated right now. We give them all the strength, Apo. But I think he fought the good fight. Now, some of these things, they're unexpected. You can only control what you can control.
I actually sent his wife a text message in the morning, and I told her, I'm very sorry, may your trauma rest in peace. But at least right now, she can find comfort in the fact that he's no longer suffering. It's been so many years of so many hardships. I know how she fought for him, and the football fraternity has really lost a soldier. And I think his spirit lives on among us, and especially through his baby. And we just wish his wife all the best, and may she stay strong and seek solace in the Lord.
Let me just ask you guys, both of you, you've played with him before, and I would just like to know, what will you remember him for? Like, what stood out about him, or what rather will you remember Ezekiel Otuoma?
He was a very good footballer, actually. He was a striker.
Yeah.
And one thing, in the Kenyan Premier League, okay, let me say in the football fraternity, you find that when the opponents have a very outstanding player who's always on the score sheet, then we plan for that player. So during our pre-match, we were used to be told when he was at Kakamega Homeboys, wako na striker ule Otuoma, make sure mmemmark. Huyo jamaa akipata space, usimwachie space yoyote. Huyo jamaa akipata tu space, kuisha wewe. So we never used to allow him space into Gor Mahia, because when I was at Mathare United, he was not in the league that time. But when I was at Gor Mahia, he was already playing for Kakamega Homeboys. So he was a very little striker. When you play for Ulinzi, when you play for Kakamega Homeboys, when you're trialist at Gor Mahia,
AFC
Leopards, when you play for AFC Leopards, definitely you're a good player, because those teams, they just don't go for
it's the cream of the crop.
Yes, it's the cream of the crop.
For me, I would say he was a big game player. Especially, I remember at Western Stima, that's why he became a bit famous. Western Stima always used to beat AFC. AFC was their
the boogie team.
Yeah, it was the bogey team. And me, I would always see that lineup. It was always like 1-0 or 2-0 or 2-1 somewhere. But AFC always knew in a season, whether they are home or they are away, anytime, even if Western Stima has lost the last 10 games, wakipatana na AFC, hiyo siku ndio kila mtu anaamka on the right side of the bed. And most of the time it was Otuoma, because he had pace, he was a good finisher. No matter what they tried, anytime he faced them when he was Western Stima, he would always leave a dent on them there. You know, when they were being coached by the late Henry Omino, and even playing with Omino's son himself.
Yes.
So they used to be so deadly and so harsh on AFC. And I think that's something, even when now guys are reminiscing, a lot of people are remembering that.
Yes, actually, I had made a mistake there. Not when he was at Kakamega Homeboys, when he was at Western Stima. That time, during that time, I was at Gor Mahia. Yeah. So we will dearly miss him. The football fraternity will miss him. I really wish that he was still playing football to usher in the new federation that has come in, because there's a lot of hope
For
with the
sure.
upcoming federation. we were supposed to have another guest here, Onesimus Muchai, who was gunning for the county of Machakos chairman in the just ended elections. Unfortunately, he lost by some margins. But you know, at the end of the day, it's football that wins.
You are talking McDonald Mariga. What do you guys think about this? Is not a new face to us. We know Hussein from, Muranga Seal, Kenya at 50, and should we have high hopes? How can we, tukimchambua tunaweza mchambua aje?
Do you want to go first or I go?
Go fast.
I have a lot to say.
Go fast.
What I can say about Hussein, or rather what I can say about generally football in Kenya, I'm happy that now we are about to be run by a professional. Because football in Kenya is usually very political.
Low blows here, low blows.
No, I have no intentions. Msinipate pahali, mnirushie mawe, ati mnione nikitembea pahali na kagari kangu kadogo, mnieke ma nails kwa miguu. What I'm trying to say is, Extreme Sports Final.
Yeah,
was
definitely.
it 1990? Ama nisiongee watu wajue age yako.
It was in 2006.
Yes. Watu walikuwa washamaliza kunywa maziwa ya Nyayo. But yeah, so you see you see the timelines we are talking about. 20, 30 years. That's how long he's been doing that. Going up against the federation that was not very cooperative. So if that's what he was doing with limited resources outside of the loop, then just imagine while being inside with goodwill from the government, what he can do.
The bottom line being goodwill.
Goodwill. So for me, this is someone who, because okay, I can only judge him after he's done some work, but at least I know I can hold him accountable. I can ask him questions and he can reply them. He's a professional. In other scenarios, you would ask questions and then you are the enemy. Why is our team not performing well? This and that.
During those times, it was only the Maisa tournaments, Madare Youth Sports Association tournaments. That was the creme de la creme of football in Nairobi. And it was not only, it was not in the whole of Nairobi. It was only in the Eastlands area. So Madare, Kamkunji, remember back then, before the promulgation of the new constitution, we had the divisions. Nairobi was divided into divisions. So there was Kamkunji division, there was Madare division, there was Tarehe division. So where I was falling in, Huruma, where it's right now is under Madare constituency, it was Starehe division.
Starehe.
Yes.
Okay.
Now during Starehe division, I played, it was being played in all the divisions first, they find a winner. Now that winner, because it was divided, Nairobi district was divided into 8 divisions. Now, the champions of every division were coming up to be in the Super 8. Now we start from the quarterfinals, then the semi-finals, then the finals. Now Maisa only concentrated on Kamkunji, Madare, Embakasi, around that area, and Kasarani, part of Kasarani, and Githurai.
Oh, okay.
So when Super 8 came, it involved the whole of Nairobi. Now all divisions. So you'll find that me as Innocent Mutiso, I am from Huruma. I knew a player from Dagoretti. I knew a player from South B. I knew a player from Langata. I knew a player from Jericho. So that is what popularized Super 8, because it made football in Nairobi so competitive. So competitive. Then there was no NSA, it was Super League then. I was playing in Super League.
You are
it was nationwide, then below nationwide, the next division, it was Super League. Now, that is why Super 8 was so much popularized in Nairobi. Now, my first final, it was Huruma versus Dandora. That was Embakasi versus Starehe division. And the crowd was packed at Nyayo Stadium. The guest of honor was our former president, Uhuru Kenyatta.
Oh, really?
Then he was the MP for Gatundu.
Oh.
He was the Minister of Finance, sorry. Yes. And he was also the MP for Gatundu. Yes? Gatundu South. So, one thing...
aspect, he will say that he will critique the former regime from the marketing aspect. He says, like, marketing iko chini, and that is one of the key aspects that we're not looking at it from that angle. So, when you say that, it means that basically we should hope for bigger tournaments for more.
Exactly, yeah.
And you've touched on something very important. For example, right now we're in the age of content. It's not like zamani where ukiwa kwa TV ama ukiwa kwa radio, that's everything. So with Hussein, even someone who's a content creator like me or you, if I want to go to the stadium and record content about Kenyan football, I don't feel like I have any restrictions because it's all for the good.
It's all for the
In
good.
fact, that is now encouraged. So it now creates opportunities. It's someone who's been thinking, let me just, like, I have an organization. I target grassroots football academies. I go and do their stories.
Okay.
Outside Nairobi, even here in Nairobi, academies, because nobody tells the stories of those academies. So now, with this type of regime in, I'm more confident because I feel like I won't go anywhere. Na niambie, we usiingie hapa, we usifanye hii na hii. Because this is someone who understands the value of marketing, the value of PR, and the value of being modern, coming up with content. I feel like it's a very positive, even the mood within the Kenyan football community. Kila mtu ako na
Kwa ground alikubalika, kwa ground.
For example, right now with the Harambee Stars coach gone, in the span of 1 week, you've seen how many people have offered themselves for the job. Musa Otieno wants the job.
Captain, yes.
Adel Amrush, our former coach. I think you played under him for the national team. Amrush wants the job. So many people want the job because they are seeing the person who we have here is reasonable. We can work with this guy. If I tell him I want to name my own squad, sitaki kusumbuliwa, hata kusumbua. And I'm not suggesting anything, msini quote pahali. But you see, you get my point.
I get your point. My team from Huruma Youth. And the token I was given a 30,000 token. That was in 2006. That was a lot
That
of
was
money.
a lot of money,
I was
for
still a
sure,
youngster
for
then.
sure.
Yes.
Uh,
So I bought my first boots. My first pair of boots I bought with that money. The rest I gave to my mom. And then captain of the team. And back then we used to call him Gaucho.
Because he was an attacking midfielder at that
He
time.
was a striker. We were twin striking with him. We were playing in a 4-4-2 formation. We
Yeah.
were twin striking with him. He scored eight goals and assisted me 6 goals. I scored 15 goals.
What?
And I assisted him 5 goals. So you see, we worked very well during that time, and we got the same agent then.
Yeah.
But when we came to Kenya, I was denied a release form from Madara United. He was given one. He was on loan at FC Leopards from Nairobi Stars.
Yeah.
And there was an academy called JMJ, Jean Marie.
Yeah, JMJ,
He was the agent. He took him to Europe.
Belgium, yeah.
And I think hapo ndo nyota yangu iliendanga. Because I am sure if we had traveled together, I would still be playing football right now.
Yeah.
Because we are definitely the same age, me and Victor.
But you still did well here at huku bado. You still did
One
well.
thing I do not regret my time in Kenya because I think I won everything in Kenya. I popularized my name here in Kenya, just playing locally. I played for the national team. I played for the most successful team in Eastern Central Africa, that is Gor Mahia. I won 2 titles with them. I played for Madara United, played for the senior team.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you a short story. What happened with me, I did not play under Adel Amrush.
Yeah.
Hussein Mohammed was gunning for the FKF presidency in 2011.
Yes.
And
Against Nyamwea.
Yes, against Sam Nyamwea. Then it was Mohammed Hatimi and Titus Kasube who are the president and the deputy president respectively. Now, I was called on the Hussein Lounge. He was launching at KICC.
Yeah.
The guest of honor was the then Prime Minister,
Raila Odinga.
the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. He
yeah.
was there. And I was given a speech
Yeah.
to talk about my journey for Super 8.
Yeah,
How I benefited from Super 8. I'm an innocent footballer.
Yeah.
I was just called to give my story so that other people can have awareness about what's going on in grassroots football.
Yeah.
And I think he talked to the coaches that Mutiso should never be called to the
Aliongea
national
vibaya.
team because my best years were actually at Gor Mahia, not Madara United. Apart from the golden generation that we won the league, my best years were at Gor Mahia when we won the title after 18 years in 2013 and defended our title. Guinea was a if you remember, or Guinea was a retained in 2014. Those are my best years. But I did not appear in any national team setup because word from above was that I am an opposition. So I was never called for Harambee Stars since 2012.
Let's backstart there. So much is going on. So much is going. Guys,
It's time for a break.
kumewaka sana hapana. You said in 2012. So now let us backstart in 2011 when Hussein was vying.
Yeah.
There's something that he said. I remember reading in the article that the reason why he lost is because he did not know the tricks,
The dynamics.
or the dynamics
Yes.
of winning an election. What do you think that meant?
Back then it was Mlolongo. Yes, very true.
You see what Mutiso is saying is true. It was the Mlolongo voting system where you mnapanga line, mnahesabiwa. But now you see, kama panga line, mnaonwa ni nani, we ni nani na nani na nani. So now threats and intimidation come in, unaambiwa, we nikikuona kwa hiyo line wewe, utaona shida. If I win, you will never get anything, you will never do this and that and that. So now you see, that makes one candidate, especially the one who has more money, have leverage. Because maybe he'll come to you, you're a delegate, you're supposed to vote, he'll give you like 100K, and then he'll tell you, if I don't see you in my line, your pesa utarudisha. So everybody now, watu wanapanga line.
During the Sam Nyamoya era, ndio tulikuwa I think the Premier League was live on SuperSport.
Yes, yes.
What happened in that, to this point right now, even Kenya itself hatuwezi hata eka game yetu, lazima tuende huko Tanzania tukajitetee. What happened? Like, a lot happened. Kenya was banned during this era. We are no longer featured at your SuperSport at it. What is this that the previous regime did that is so wrong that things went on a turmoil? I mean, maybe there's some things that they did that maybe atuoni, lakini most of the thing, honestly speaking, it was sort of a destruction of football or ailing football. What went wrong?
I think tutapiga hiyo kwa the next segment. We go on a short break.
Okay.
I think you can give the viewers our social media handles and
yes, our sponsors. Come on, Aviona. Just wewe tuna launch a new drink, Jack Daniel's Apple, and of course we're live on Icon Radio at Icon Radio KE, www.iconradio.co.ke, and all our social media platform, that is YouTube. We are streaming live pale YouTube, so be sure to stream and check us out. Tunaingia second segment and it's hotter than ever before.
stop you, baby. I know you were grieving. Oh, what you packed you back to me. Saying you're gonna fall in love. Something wild. No, my is right now. No, Give her my regards when every time you see her. Give her my regards. Hey, wagwan, 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 wagwan. Karibuni sana for the second segment.
Shori wa Sports, Marion Kageni.
The one and only Steve Juguni.
Watu hawajasikia hiyo yako.
Shori wa Sports, Marion Kageni, aka Shori wa Sports.
The Shori for the sports.
Hey, lakini ushori wa sports anajua ball. Ako na content. Hey, Marion. Eh? Upatia na message moja huko.
Message moja ni Chelsea, Chelsea do me good. Chelsea, Chelsea do me good. Mwana hiyo katim kale katim kamekanyagwa. Yeah. Short and sweet.
Nikuulize swali Marion. Unaendesha ganduthi? Si Chelsea inakoga timu ya wase wa nduthi. Hapana. I'm just following facts, eh? You know, nani Kenya usupport Chelsea?
Siwa Nduthi Association.
So nikienda pale kwa parking lot nitaona Hero 125cc hapo.
But we all know the pride of London is only one team.
Arsenal.
Team kubwa, timu ya baba.
Arsenal. Football heritage.
Majama, kabla tuende break tulikuwa tunaongelelea about the federation, the previous federation, and where they failed. They failed to attract sponsors for all the leagues, and also they failed to attract broadcast partners, of which Azam will come the other day. But what's the value? But teams zinajua hata ni pesa ngapi ziko hapo. When they were negotiating, were the clubs involved? Were the players association involved? Was the coaches association involved? What about the referees association? Were they involved? Hizo ndo tunataka kujua. Those are the things that we want to hold the federation accountable.
Basically, in a nutshell, Kenya unasema transparency.
Transparency.
Kila kitu iko out in the open. Kama una make 1 million a month, kila mtu ajue ni 1 million. Isikue kuna pesa itakuja, ikikuja wewe jua tu imekuja. Ati tutakulipa lini? Wewe jua tu siku fulani ikifika utalipa. That's not the way to run things. Speaking of broadcast, sai by the leo kumekuwa na some KPL games. Some very
tukikuja huku na waki-hype mafans.
Wako kwa design basava.
I hope you hype people.
Na mnajua by the way walikuwa wamekuwa stuck Kimende. They had been stuck in Kimende kwa traffic for like 2 nights.
2 nights?
Walitoka Kisii Thursday. Wamefika Nairobi leo asubuhi.
Tupatie results za KPL games leo.
So latest game ni KCB na Mara Sugar. Remember KCB top of the table.
Yeah.
4-3. Na Francis Kahiro, very impressive season is having. Ameongeza bao ingine. So
wow.
That's one player to look out for. You know, can tell you, having 8 goals in the season with less than half of the games being played, that's a big
it is.
KPL player mwenye anaficha bao 10 ndio elite striker. So huyu ako na 8 already. Going downwards pia kulikuwa na Bidco versus Sofapaka. Sofapaka won 2-0. Bidco amekuwa in a slump because their coach Anthony Akulia is the one who's coaching the Kenya national team under 17 wenye wanacheza Sekafa. So coach akiwa yuko wanapigwa. Speaking of that team, they've just been thrashed. First half pekee 4-0 na Uganda. First half pekee.
Wow.
Remember first game wali lose 1-0 to TZ. 4-0. So as it stands, they look like they're heading out of the competition. Remember, that was a squad that was shrouded in controversy. Out of the 26 players selected, 10 tested positive for age cheating.
So they failed the MRI scans?
They failed the MRI scans. So ni players 16 wanacheza hapo. So
hizo ndo zile handball the previous federations ilikuwa zinafanya.
Failing to plan is planning to fail.
Let me ask you, do men really multitask? Do men really multitask?
Why?
Because pia Salim Babu akiwa police was doing very bad na bado ni coach wa under 20, of which, not to take anything away from Salim Babu, he's one of the best youth coaches here in Kenya. But can men really
not even about multitasking. If you are coaching the NSL or in the Division 1 or Division 2, I think it's easier. Premier League is so much pressure. Akulia goes for under 17 The day he comes back, Bitco is playing Gor. Bitco beat Gor. Then he leaves again. Bitco loses 3 games, 3 games in a row. So it becomes now, it becomes shaky. But labda pia wanaume hiyo multitask pia ni ngumu. I don't even know why women say we cheat. Me, I think men are very honest. We only stick to one woman. We only stick to one woman. Miss Jayona mwanaume amecheat by the way.
I think Marion deserves a rebuttal.
Hiyo nayo nakataa. Very fast.
Men cannot multitask.
Okay, football wise yes, lakini kwetu utakata vitunguu mwanangu.
Anyway, yeah, so yeah, that was Bitco versus Sofapaka. 2-0. Sofapaka won 2-0. Just one. Posta Rangers versus Tusker. Tusker win 3-1. Remember, Sasa Tusker have started doing a resurgence with Okere, and they're about to, go on top of the table. Another goal for Ryan Ogam. So that also now puts him on top. He now has 9.
9 goals, yeah.
And this is very impressive because Ogam will invest in aeroplanes. Siata Goro na bebago
5 wins ever since the new coach took over. So I want to see if the winning run will continue.
Well, kitu moja, hizi mahandball, the previous federation of under 17, under 20, under 23, until the senior team, both men and women, we still see the same faces.
Yeah, yeah.
Men multitasking.
Ngumu.
I mean,
Ngumu hapo.
like, there's someone I admire very much. That's Coach Beldin Odemba.
Yeah, yeah.
She has achieved so much from Highway Secondary, winning the nationals in Kenya, going to East Africa.
Limalza number 2.
Exactly. And then she got the under 20.
Yeah.
And she performed very well.
Yeah. The reality is too many cooks can spoil the broth.
Very true.
So I was watching the Botswana game and I was behind the bench. I could see mtu moja anaambiwa enda uom. Coach moja anaita moja anamwambia wewe pia wewe enda uom. Was rushed in every single game and they didn't score a goal.
It's so sad.
Yeah. So
under 17 that went to Dominican Republic.
Yeah. Our coach there, Mildred Cheche, wonderful tactician, and she was allowed to do her thing. That's what I liked because you could see that she was communicating. She was the one who was influencing those ideas on the players. Remember, they're young girls. They're more difficult to coach than adults.
Yeah,
adults are mature. Kids, you have to deal with them. They're teenagers, adolescents, all of those things, and then also guiding them so that the outside influence isiwasumbue. Unajua pia mtaani watu wanaanza kuambia wewe ulienda
kweli.
Nini. She did such a good job. She was nominated by CAF for Women's Coach of the Year.
Yes.
And I don't think there's any coach, male or female, from Kenya who's done that. So that's just an example of what a coach can do if they are allowed to do their job. Without any interference at fanya hii. I just pray that the core of that under 17 team, the Valerie Nekesas, the Sharon Otieno, the Marion Serenge, they are allowed they're allowed to transition pole into the senior team. They get chances. So that all of what has happened so far in vain. It won't make sense.
What did you think of the under 17 women's team that went to World Cup?
To the World Cup. For me, I thought they were exceptional. And doing so, they made a historic move actually, which was putting us on the map, never seen before. And that was amazing. There's an update, by the way. Under 17 men team, tumebanduliwa heavily. Salim Babu pole sana. 5-0.
No, it is Ahulia.
5-0 tufanye nini?
Ahulia, not Salim Babu.
Ahulia, yeah. Pole sana, tunaumia. 5-0, I don't know what went wrong. Like he said, he knows what went wrong.
As I said, if the tournament is starting in 2 days and 10 of your players are just removed from the squad, that destabilizes everything. In fact, what was being said was that the kids who tested well and the MRIs proved their age, most of them are the ones who had been taken from Mofa, Michael Olunga's academy.
Okay.
So now Akulia was like, at least he'll try and play all of them because
they should step in automatically in those slots. I'm speaking this as a former footballer.
Yes, Mutiso.
at Gor Mahia,
Uh,
Gor Mahia is a very big team here in Kenya. It attracts the best players. So